And you were around in those days, weren't you?
Of course I was,
early
yeah.
days.
I like them as well. Hungry Like the Wolf, yeah.
Some of the great songs from Duran Duran. As always, why not play some?
Yes.
On a breakfast morning.
Yeah.
No one can object to a bit of Duran Duran. Here we go. So, you can't be surprised that Duran Duran was inducted into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame last year. Someone who wasn't there, but who I'm delighted to say is here, is guitarist Andy Taylor. Good morning to you.
Andy.
Good morning.
Shall we talk about why you weren't there, first of all?
Yes, I wasn't there because I've had stage 4 prostate cancer for around about 8 years, and it caught up with me quite badly around about last September. And as hard as I tried, and all the preparation I made, when you do something like the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, which is basically like getting knighted
Yes.
for a guitar player, you've kind of got to be on 11, you know? You can't saunter in. And I, you know, a few days before, I couldn't really stand up and play. And I had to deal with the denial. But it was sad, you know, and I hadn't told the guys.
So you hadn't told
No one knew.
the other members of the band? Because I know they revealed your diagnosis, but you hadn't told them.
No one really knew, just the family and a few friends. I just sort of kept it because once it goes public, I knew it would be fairly sort of extensive. And I could have picked quite a moment for it to go public.
Absolutely.
But I didn't want to make a fool of the band and just be on half and not be able to do this. It's quite an intense 3 days.
How did they react when you told them?
We've always had a very dignified, as Simon once said, gentlemanly kind of way with each other. And there's a friend of mine, Merck, he really helped me through all of this. And he said, just write them a letter, Andy. So I just thought, actually, yeah, I'm a writer. I wrote them a letter, and then a message came back, said that Simon wanted to read the letter out. And I'm like, OK, you know, and he did. And it was pretty... I was sitting at home with my grandson all day. We just rescued a cat, right? Lucky.
Good job.
Albie, my grandson, and I'd spent that day just sitting at home with a rescued cat and sort of peaceful until about 2 in the morning. Then ping, 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 and people are sending me clips from the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame of Simon reading out the letter, and I was like, I was gutted, but he did it with real dignity. He's a very classy fella, Simon, and I love him dearly.
So obviously you kept it to yourself for your own reasons. That was a choice you made. But having it go public and everybody know, is that better in a way? Is it because it's out there that it's hard to make that decision? But now that's happened and we're talking about it here and on live television. Is that you in a better place?
Yes.
With it? It's a funny kind of question. You know what I mean?
I know exactly what you mean. Yes, it is. Because it sort of it lifts a lot of pressure off every conversation you have. For instance, like my guitar tech, I hadn't seen him for 1.5 years. For 5 years working with me, he didn't know.
This is the guy who looks after your guitars.
And he was like, what? You were doing, and you were ill? And I'm like, well, I had great doctors and I was on this great medication, and you know, and I wanted to keep it that way for people, because you don't. there's no concern can help it. And you just want to, the environment I work in, you don't want to be, oh, be careful with Andy.
Well, I completely understand that, but in the same breath, it gives people the chance, doesn't it? And you must know this. It must happen every day to say to you, you know, to ask you, you're OK, to kind of share some of the story. And that presumably, if not for you, for other people, must be...
Well, once I had the kind of support, because it wasn't... with something like this going public, being a Durrani, I knew there would be a certain amount of media, and that's what I wanted to protect my family from, was all of that. Once I had the support and the team to help me handle all of that, I was able to go through with it. But the great irony is I missed the biggest night of my life, and within a week, I was in touch with an amazing fella called Sir Chris Evans, who has he's the most incredible scientist, and he immediately in his team said, look, let me take a look at it. He did my genomics, looked at it and said, there's a treatment that can save you from, because I was pretty much, you know, it wouldn't have been, I call it the blacklist. And now this treatment, which is a nuclear medicine, lutetium-177. It's a targeted, so it only sees cancer cells. It can't see healthy cells. And I had my first round of it about, I'm in next week for another round, 6 weeks ago. And it kills stage 4 cancer in your bones. And so what it's effectively done is extend my life for 5 years.
Well, the obvious question, straight away everyone's going to want to know, I mean, how are you? As you sit here now, where are you at?
Well, I said to them once, I had to get in very, very good health to have this treatment. So I really took care of myself in a different way. And then after the first round of treatment, I said, if I'm OK, and you guys say I'm OK, and they do your blood tests and that, is it OK to start work again, sort of light work, and get out? I don't want to be a patient stuck in. I want to be a working patient. A little beacon of hope, because this stuff just drags you, cancer just drags you down into the darkness, and your family. And I can work as a patient.
Well, we've got you here, and
that's the thing.
We haven't had the chance to talk about it, but we will mention it. You're still creating. You're still creating music. You've got a new album, Man's a Wolf to Man. That's out on September the 8th. And you're still creating, which is brilliant. And you've been really open with us here on Breakfast, and I know you would have made an impact with someone who's watching today. So thank you so much.
It's been a hell of a journey, but...
We appreciate your sharing
the
story with us now, and a lot of people are very pleased to see you here this morning. Thank you so
Andy,
much.
thank you. Time now to, of course, Andy's album, Man's a Wolf to a Man, is out on September the 8th. Time now to get the news, travel and weather where you are.